Twitter as @ROIDude. We've heard a lot about enterprise cloud, what it is, how it works, and where it's going. In this session on financial modeling, I'm going to talk primarily about the why. When our 30 customers transitioned to Nutanix, they wanted to know why. Why should they make an investment in an enterprise cloud platform, and what type of financial, operational, and business impacts would it have on their organizations? I'm going to share with you how you can use TCO and ROI, and in the process both accelerate the sales cycle and increase the scope of your deals. Total cost of ownership, TCO, is typically used when a project is already identified, when budget is already in place. So we'll use TCO to compare Nutanix versus 3-tier, which is still by far and away our biggest competition, versus public cloud, or versus other hyper-converged solutions. Return on investment, or ROI, is typically utilized when a project is perhaps not identified or maybe budget isn't in place. So we'll use an ROI analysis to help customers quantify the benefits they'll achieve from virtualizing, say, physical servers or from virtualizing physical desktops. The objectives of doing a TCO or ROI analysis: of course we want to win the sale, we want to achieve project funding if appropriate. We also want to shift the conversation away from tactical considerations such as what can you do for me because my SAN is up for refresh, and we want to shift it to a big picture perspective and get them thinking strategically over a number of years, and in the process significantly increase the project scope. Henry Ford famously said that if he had asked his customers what they wanted, they would have told him, "We want faster horses." And when competing against 3-tier, we often run into this type of mindset, that customers are so used to buying servers and SANs that they look at everything through a 3-tier lens, and they have trouble grasping this whole concept of enterprise cloud. So they ask us questions like, what is your cost per gigabyte? Or how much would it cost to buy a Nutanix pod? And while perfectly legitimate questions in a 3-tier world, they just don't make any sense from an enterprise cloud perspective. So a big part of what we want to accomplish by taking customers through this TCO process is to get them to really understand that Nutanix isn't just a faster horse, that we're going to transform their experience of managing IT. The problem with SANs with 3-tier from an economic perspective are represented by this chart. A SAN, of course, has 2 or sometimes more physical storage controllers. Well, these are duplicating the space requirements on the compute side of the house. So they're duplicating the rack space, power, and cooling, which can be very significant expenses. IDC estimates now that operational expenses are 80% of the total cost of running a data center and continue to increase. But on top of that, a SAN buyer has to project what type of resource requirements they're going to have, say 4 or 5 years down the road, and then buy a SAN with enough excess capacity to hopefully meet those resource needs so that they don't face a very expensive and complex and time-consuming forklift upgrade. Well, guess what? All that excess capacity also requires rack space, power, and cooling. And then the whole thing starts depreciating on the first day it's installed, so that by the time that excess capacity is fully utilized 5 years down the road, assuming it makes it that long, it means it's become really old technology. Nutanix is not only game-changing technology, Nutanix also changes the game when it comes to the economics. And there's 2 primary ways we do this. The first is with our software-defined one-click upgrades. The ability for Nutanix customers with a single click to upgrade their nodes no matter what age, no matter where they are around the world, so that they all run the same OS, they all have the same features, and because of continued increases in software, it means that their performance also increases. Now you combine this with the continued advances in technology with Moore's Law, and what it means is that the density of virtual machines per node continues to increase year after year. But Nutanix customers only pay as they grow. They start with the number of nodes they need, and then as they expand out their Nutanix footprint as the project grows over the years, it means that they need fewer and fewer nodes to run the same workload as they needed up front. So in this manner, the CapEx, the capital expenses for the entire project are slashed, along with the associated rack space, power, and cooling. We've also eliminated all the risk of underbuying, as well as any risk of overbuying. When my team, the client strategy team, does TCO ROI analysis, we put together a nice comprehensive report, 20 to 25 pages. But from a TCO perspective, it kind of boils down to the summary slide. What you're seeing here is an actual analysis results that we did for Fairway Mortgage, one of the nation's largest mortgage companies. And we contrast the total cost of ownership of buying a V-block, in this case, versus Nutanix on a cash flow basis year by year over 5 years. And for this analysis, we looked at the acquisition cost of each solution. We assumed that there was no forklift upgrade involved. Of course, there's never a forklift upgrade for Nutanix, so we would have completely obliterated V-block if we had included that. We looked at the rack space, the power, the cooling, and we took a very conservative estimate of administrative cost savings. Total projected 5-year cash flow savings were $900,000. Fairway now has over 100 Nutanix nodes. The tools available to you on our website, we have a TCO tool that you can either fill out yourselves or give it to your customers to complete, and it'll give a high-level estimate of TCO savings. There's also a TCO calculator that's included as part of Sizer. For more complex opportunities, for larger opportunities, you can request the help of the client strategy team by going through your Nutanix rep who will initiate a request out of Salesforce. And then we're happy to get involved on a customized basis. We also have an IDC study available on our website. I strongly recommend that you read this and also share it with your customers. The IDC study was created in August of 2015 by surveying 13 Nutanix and Dell XC customers. It's a very in-depth study, but it's got these great metrics, like the average 5-year ROI for the 13 companies in the study was 510%. The average decrease in administrative time was 71%. The study has also some great business statistics. The average time to deploy new application was decreased by 38%. The average increase in application performance was 51%. Unplanned downtime decreased by 98%. Planned downtime decreased by 100%. And there are many, many more. In summary, make sure to start the financial conversation early. Use the TCO ROI analysis as an opportunity to become a partner of the customer rather than just a rep asking for a PO. Be sure to identify the business objectives behind the project. Encourage the customer to expand the scope. Get them to look at a 5-year period. Get them to think about what would it look like if they migrated to enterprise cloud for all workloads, for all use cases over the 5-year period. What would it look like if they started migrating to AHV as their ELA expired, and so on. Make sure that you include all the costs, the CapEx cost, the capital cost, the operational cost, and if you can, quantify the business impact, but at least identify what business impacts there will be as a result of going to enterprise cloud. And then finally, use the TCO or ROI analysis as a framework for pulling together all your great efforts so that you can put together a really compelling case, a really compelling document that will ensure that you close the sale. Thank you for watching. If you need any help, please feel free to contact me, Kap, K-A-P, @Nutanix.com, or on Twitter @ROIDude.